Welcome, everybody. I'm so blessed to get to be able to share with you again. Welcome to Real Estate in COVID-19, where I'll be interviewing experts in the industry to help you navigate your buying and selling processes during this COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Tammy, your neighborhood realtor, and today I am bringing you Stephanie Breckville. Stephanie, I understand you do staging. Will you tell us a little bit more about what you do and the benefits that this brings to the real estate process?
Absolutely. I'm a home stager. My specialty is occupied staging consultation. So I like to go in, keep it affordable, but it's still super effective. I go in using just the furniture and accessories that the homeowner already has. And then we create a space with that buyers are going to fall in love with.
Oh,
Keeps
that's
it
really cool.
fun and simple. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's not a lot of financial investment as far as having to buy things. There's no overhead. So fascinating. Once somebody puts a contract in with a listing agent, about what time do you go in to do that sort of process?
It varies a lot. I've been known to do, I did a staging that was the day before pictures were being taken. And that one was kind of a hands-on. We all sort of worked together, and it was kind of a combo of a staging and a work day together.
Yeah.
But we all worked together. In 3 hours, we knocked it out. We got it done. Photos came the next morning. And then I did one a few weeks ago that was about a month out from going on the market. So it really just depends on what the homeowner needs and what their goals are, and how much stuff they have to go through, and all of that kind of stuff kind of comes into play.
Do you have a particular set of steps that they should go through before you come into the home?
Not necessarily. I mean, they can't, a lot of agents kind of set them up to declutter and do some of that stuff beforehand, but
Okay.
I can come in really at any stage of clutter and whatever, and I'll give them all of those steps to take once I'm there, and then they have step by step, room by room, what needs to be done to get the home ready.
Okay, that's so interesting. What's the weirdest dynamic that you've had when you've come in to do this?
I had one lady who she was very neat and tidy. She didn't have a lot of clutter. She didn't have a lot of extra stuff, but she had a lot of antiques, and a lot of them were big armoire desk, big pieces. And she had just a kind of a normal sized house. Like, they were too big for her space. And so it made her space feel really cramped. Well, before I even got there, she told the realtor that she was not moving any of this stuff because they were antiques and she didn't want to move them until she moved out of the home.
Oh.
So the real estate agent told me this. Okay, heads up, this is what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then first thing, as soon as I walked in the door, that's what she told me. Oh, I know this is big, but I'm not moving it. It can't go anywhere. It's an antique and blah, blah, blah. She told me all about it. Okay. So as we walked through the house and I'm talking to her about what buyers are looking for and that kind of thing, I'm counting all of these big pieces that she has. She has 7 big pieces of furniture that didn't need to be there.
Okay.
From armoires to a giant sofa table to a big desk thing to a big trunk in her bedroom that she didn't have room for. I mean, just big stuff. Anyway, as we walked through and I talked to her, I was able to get her to move 4 of them, which for me, I was totally happy with that because she was adamant that she wasn't moving anything. So it was a success. But the other thing with her, she had this living room, and you come in the front door and there's like a hallway, and then you walk into the back of the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a giant sofa table behind the sofa. And so it was very cramped and everything was kind of squished together. And so I was making suggestions that we really should put the couch on the other wall so you don't walk into the back of it, and get rid of the sofa table, open it up, you know, telling her all these things. And she's just like, no, nobody's going to like that. That's a terrible idea. No, I don't think so. She must have told me 5 times. And then finally she was like, well, let's just move it and see what it looks like. Okay. So they moved the furniture around, and it's like, wow, it looks great. It's open and airy and it feels so much better. And she was, no, I hate it. And she probably told me 3 or 4 times that she hated it. I was like, okay, that's okay. You're allowed to hate it, but it's not about you anymore. It's about the buyers and what the buyers are going to want. It's not your home. It's a piece of property you're trying to sell to somebody else. And she was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, she was very adamant. She was not wanting to go along with anything, but it worked out.
Oh, it sounds like you just walked through that amazingly. Good on you. I think it's so interesting how our experiences with our own space and how attached we become to what it should look like and how it feels to the individual.
Right.
But what you do is like you are rearranging things and setting things up in a way that appeal to the majority, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do they ever find that out? How do they know that? Is it like studies that they do?
Oh, like what the majority
For
is looking
design.
for?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
just, you know, right now people want move-in ready.
Mm-hmm.
They want open, airy, light, bright spaces, neutral.
Right.
Really, that's all. It's all it is. It's, you know, we're having them paint those red walls and getting rid of, you know, stuff that's super personal and just kind of neutralizing everything,
Yeah.
so that it appeals to more. You know, if they have a collection or whatever on the wall, a certain type of art or whatever, that's gonna limit their demographic to people that like the same thing that they like.
Mm-hmm.
If we take that down and neutralize the space, it opens it up to all the buyers can see the possibility here, instead of just buyers who like what you like.
Yeah.
It opens it up to more people.
They can start to visualize it becoming their own flair, their own colors. It's like a blank canvas, right?
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. It's making the buyer be able to see themselves living there.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. So what got you into this work?
Well, my youngest daughter went to college, and it was time for something new. I had stayed at home with my girls. I'd worked at their school and, you know, little things like that, but I never really had my career, I guess.
Yeah.
And I always kind of had this design thing, but I didn't really know what to do with it. I studied accounting and business in college. So I'm this weird mixture of creative and statistics and numbers. And so it kind of hit me in the face one day, like, this is a thing, this is something you could do. And I didn't really know if staging, like I saw it on TV, but I didn't know if it was really a thing people in Colorado did realtors
Sure.
really use it? So I reached out to some of my realtor friends and asked them. And I learned that there's a lot of stagers, and yes, they use them, and yes, it's a thing, but it's more on that luxury level, and people view it as expensive, and it won't work for my house because I don't have this fancy luxury house, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, well, that's a niche that I can fill, because I'm like super simple stuff. I mean, if there's an easier way to do it, I'm going to figure it out. And queen of simple. I like simple, easy, you know. And so that kind of, I was like, oh, I can totally do that. So that's when I figured out, if I do the occupied, use what they have, I'm not sending them out to buy a bunch of new stuff. We can make what they have look better and look great and appeal to the masses. That's what I need to be doing. So I jumped in. I've been in business about a year now, and so I'm kind of a baby too. And it's been so much fun, and I've learned a lot, and I love the occupied side of it because it's kind of a puzzle. I have that puzzle brain. I like puzzles and figuring stuff out. And so using what they have, how can I use this and work with what they've already got and make it better and make it look great and all that stuff. So basically my kid going off to college kicked me into high gear that I needed to figure out what my next chapter was. And I just sort of figured it out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so cool. It sounds like it's really fulfilling for you and that it just connects all the dots for you. It's so
It
cool.
absolutely does. I love it. I love it. I love going into a home. I mean, right now it's all remote, but even just seeing somebody's home, I've always loved open houses and checking stuff out and ooh, look at the pretty tile. And
Yeah,
so getting to do I get paid to do that, to go into
that's
people's
so
homes and
fun.
just, critique them a
Yeah.
little bit. And it's so much fun. I love it.
That's so cool. So before we go into COVID-19, I'm really curious, do you have to be working with a real estate agent as a potential client? Does somebody have to be selling their house to work with you? Or do you also do just somebody who wants to give their space a new look?
Yeah, I do that as well. Most of what I do is through real estate agents, and then they connect me with the homeowner.
Okay.
But I do a lot, not a lot. I do some. I call it redesign, and
Hmm.
it's basically the same thing, using their own furniture and accessories, but tailoring it to their own style. So instead of appealing to the masses now, I'm listening to them and what they love and what they like to do and surround themselves with and all those things. And we create that space that reflects who they are. So when
Hmm.
people walk in, their friends are like, wow, yeah, this is your space. This fits perfect for you, that kind of a thing. So yeah,
That's
a lot
nice.
of times it's people who've been in their home for 20 or 30 years and they're just tired of it. They need a little refresh.
Hmm.
Or people who have just moved into a new home and they have their furniture from their old home and they don't quite know how to make it work.
Yes.
So we go and
Oh, I
we make
love that idea
it
too.
work in their new home.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fantastic. So everybody who's listening to this, Stephanie can help you. Everybody.
Right. If you have a home,
That's, yeah,
oh,
if you have a home. Yeah, that's just it. And that's so cool. I don't know how many times, because I'm the HGTV girl who's just like, okay, I love that space. I really would love a space like that. And then I look at what I have and I'm just like, yeah, no, that's
right.
not
That's
going to
not gonna work.
happen. And I don't have the design mindset like that too. So I love that you have all these different facets that you can come in and support people. That's super cool. Let's talk about COVID-19. What's
Okay.
happened? So I know real estate agents, like we can't even go in and show the homes anymore.
Right.
Um, and some of the people are able to go in, but not everybody. And it's shifting every single day, it's changing. So,
Right.
what's happening for you, and how are you filling the gap?
So for me, everything has gone remote. So instead of walking into someone's home and walking through it with them, they're sending me pictures ahead of time.
Hmm.
And then we make an appointment to either Zoom or FaceTime or whatever. And then we walk through the home remotely like that. But
Hmm.
I've already seen the home through the pictures at that point, and I've kind of taken notes from the pictures. And as we're walking through room by room, I can kind of tell them, okay, I noted this on the picture, or picture didn't show this wall. Can you scroll over? Let's take a look at that wall and see what needs to be done, or whatever. So we walk through and I give them the tips just remotely instead of in person. And it's something that I had been kind of contemplating um, in December and January, because I have some friends in Texas who were talking about selling their home. I'm like, how can I help you guys? And I was like, I'll just FaceTime you. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
And I was planning on rolling it out and I just hadn't yet. And so this sort of forced it upon me.
Oh,
And so it made sense. It worked out pretty well for me.
that is so cool. I think it's brilliant. It's where we're all going in the world anyway, right? And more things are virtual, and technology is bridging gaps all over the place. It's just
Yeah.
insane how it can come together. And so I think that's really exciting. Um, I can see, so yesterday I had an interview with a photographer who does 3D virtual tours. And so I'm just like, my mind's starting to go, woo, you know, I wonder if you could do a virtual tour and just like design the space as you're walking along. I don't know, like how, or after they do it, then you could do a virtual tour of their finished design, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of ways that those two come together. That's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. Talk to me a little bit about how people would be able to reach out to you and hire you.
Well, I have a website. My website is slbdesignco.com. It's my initials, Stephanie Lynn Breckbill. So slbdesignco.com. My phone number is 720-437-9580. I have a Facebook page, SLB Design Co. Yeah, I think that's about it.
That's awesome. So I'm just going to say them again. I've got slbdesignco.com as your website. I have the phone number 720-437-9580
Yes.
as your number. And then your Facebook page, they should just be able to search you, right? SLB Design Co. and be able to see you pop up there. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, if not, it's just facebook.com/SLB Design Co.
Yeah, perfect. Stephanie, thank you so much for your time and energy here today. I know I'm looking forward to getting to be able to use your service, and just excited for people who get that opportunity. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was good to talk to you.
You as well.
All right.